So, long-term plan for sim racing? Build my own sim rig from DIY fabrication? Check. Do some sim racing? Check. Make my own set of hydraulic sim racing pedals? Not checked, because life in general and sim racing got in the way. But my friend Bob from Race at Home, he sent me an email a few weeks ago and he said, hey, I want to try out the new OBP V2 hydraulic sim racing pedals. And I replied back, the hell yeah. So let's take a look at these pedals. Roll the credits.
All right, so let's take a look at the OBP eSports Pro Race V2 pedals. If there was a competition for the longest name in sim racing pedals, then these would be the standout winner. But we've got them here, so let's have a look. We've got a free pedal setup, so these are the newest OBP pedals out onto the market. They're a full hydraulic pedal system, and they look pretty damn good. So what we've got is the free pedals are made from 6061 aircraft grade aluminium. So they're all machined up, looking very, very pretty. On the foot plates, we've got the laser cut OBP tags. We've got some lines there for grip. They're adjustable, all three pedals side to side, but I don't think... they are. So, brake and clutch pedal are also adjustable for height, but that throttle pedal looks to be fixed. Might have to pop that off in a minute and just see. There may be some more threaded holes on the back plate that the foot plate's covering. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. So what we've got is a full hydraulic pedal set on the brake pedal. Now, on the throttle and the clutch pedal, they're actually potentiometers. So we're going backwards a little bit here, and that is a concern, looking at it. Not using load cells like some of the other high-end pedals, so that's something we're going to look into. The body of the pedals is very, very substantial. So basically it's 3mm laser cut mild steel plate. It's got a black powder coating on it, and then it's MIG welded together in places. So it's made of quite a few different components and MIG welded together. If you don't know OBP, by the way, they're in real life they manufacture race pedals for cars. A little UK company, and their products tend to be cheaper. So they're at the bottom end of the market in terms of pedal boxes for race cars. They're good quality products, but they're always usually made of steel, and they tend to be heavier. And you get what you pay for, so they are quite competitively priced. I've used some in my cars, in my real life race cars, and you get what you pay for. So the fit and finish is never quite there. It reflects the budget that you've paid for the pedals. Now, in terms of these sim pedals, I will say they look a lot better than the real race car pedals that I've bought from OBP in the past. So I think they've stepped up the game a bit on the fit and finish. They still look like OBP though. So they tend to be MIG welded together, and you do find little annoyances. So little bits of MIG weld spatter that hasn't been cleaned up. Let's not bash them too hard yet. Let's get them on the rig and have a go. So we'll talk about the throttle pedal first. So throttle pedal works much like a normal car pedal. So we've got a circular spring, which gives the throttle pedal its springiness. We've got an adjustable position or an adjustable grub screw at the front here, which can set your angle of your throttle pedal. So you've got a fair amount of adjustment, but basically you start from upright and then you'd work your way back. So the funky shape of this pedal is actually because of a real life race car. So what would normally happen, the brake pedal in a real life race car would have what we call a bias bar. So it'd have twin master cylinders on the back. Instead of a road car having a single master cylinder like this brake pedal setup, on a race car we'd have twin master cylinders. One master cylinder operates the fronts, one operates the back. And in the middle here, connecting the two master cylinders, we have what's called a balance bar, which is basically a threaded bar. And this is how we adjust our brake bias. So we thread the bar in and out, and it moves the pivot point between the two master cylinders, allowing us to change the brake bias on the car. Now that balance bar is attached to a cable, which is attached to our twirling knob on the dashboard that we set the bias with. It has to come out. So the reason we've got this funky cutout in the throttle pedal is because it's actually a real life, it's what they use on their real life throttle pedals. It's got the cutout so that we can get the brake balance bar out. There we go, fact of the day from Gavin. Right, so let's have a look. So it's really hard to see what's going on inside these pedals because it's all cased over. So what we've got here, this is the pivot bar, and on the other side of this is the potentiometer to measure throttle pedal. So we've got like a little radius bar coming off, and it's a really pretty little piece of design. It's so miniature and tiny, it really does look quite neat. So it attaches to the throttle pedal with this dainty little push rod here, which has got some tiny little nuts on it. It's got plastic ball and socket joints on either end, and it's got a tiny little push rod that's adjustable in the middle. So you can use that to adjust your length to make sure you're not getting unwanted pressure on the potentiometer. It's a really neat little design. There's not much play in it, which is good. Always a worry when you use these ball and socket joints. You're going to get a little bit of play. You can just see there, just a tiny bit of play between the joint. It shouldn't be too much drama. Now, on that radius arm here, we've actually got two adjustments. So set like this, it's got quite a lot of movement in the potentiometer. But if you bring that to the next hole back, that'll sharpen it up, so you get a really responsive pedal. It would be interesting to have a play around with that and see just how much difference that makes. So also on the pedal here, you can just see it down here. That's actually the bump stop for the pedal. So we can adjust that little rubber stopper in and out to set our pedal bump stop so we can get the exact amount of travel that we want. Throttle pedal is a oil-infused bushing again, same as the Mecca cups. So shame we haven't got the bearings in there. And again, another little detail on the throttle pedal. You have to really look for these details. Some really beautiful TIG welding in there. Really nice. Such a shame it's not clearly visible, but whoever TIG welded that, pucker job. Really, really nice job. See, I'm not going to knock them completely. There are some bits on them I really do like. You just have to look a little bit. So onto the brake pedal. So we've got bushings again, the brake pedal. It goes back into a single master cylinder on the back. So this is master cylinder. It's an OBP branded master cylinder based on an old Girling type master cylinder. So it's an all-in-one system. So fluid in the top here in the reservoir, and then just a single out pipe. So what we've got going on here, let's have a look. Master cylinder size, anyone who wants to know, is 0.875 of an inch. It's another part of tuning. I've never used hydraulic sim brakes before, but on the cars we can tune the brakes with different size master cylinders to get a bit more feeling, or either like a tighter pedal or a much longer, softer pedal, different size master cylinders. So it'll be interesting to see if that theory works on hydraulic pedals. Now I've wanted to try these from day one in sim racing. Not these pedals exactly, but I've wanted to even make my own set of hydraulic pedals. So I'm really keen to get these on, have a go with them and see how they are, because this is pretty much how I'd envisioned making my own pedals, which is going to happen at some point. So anyway, back to business. So out of the master cylinder, we've got the Hell braided brake line. It's got a bit of OBP branding on there as well. And I believe it's braided steel with PVC coating brake line. And we've got solid AN fittings, which is really nice. So this gubbins here is, I believe, basically this is the electrical wizardry. So what I believe is in here is a pressure sensor. So we've got, this is actually a fitting that's screwed into what is a T-piece in the line. So this reads the pressure, sends it into the boxes, which are buried down in here. We can't see too easily. And that makes all the avian stuff happen. And then in the back there, you plug in your USB and go into your computer. So we go through the T-piece, we're measuring the pressure, and then we carry on out the other side for another braided PVC line, and then we're into the back, into what is the slave cylinder. So this is the master cylinder, and this is the slave. Boss, doer. Sends a message, does the work. So again, OBP branded. Another cool fact is that OBP actually sell these individually on their website. So if you're building your own set of hydraulic pedals, I think they're like £51 off their website. You need one of these. If you want to do a bump stop hydraulic pedal setup, you can grab one of these. I think it's Willwood do them, and there are some cheap versions available on eBay. But yeah, there's another place now. You can actually buy these to build your own pedals off of OBP. So we've got what is called a pull type slave cylinder. So when you push the pedal down, there's a rod that comes out the back of this slave cylinder. Now, normally in a car, this rod would be pushed out, so it would go outwards. With a pull type system, it does what it says on the tin, so it actually pulls the rod inwards, so it pulls it into itself. And that is where the magic happens. So inside this, it's a stainless steel tube. Inside here, we've got a rubber bump stop and a spacer. And basically, when we activate the brake pedal, because it's bolted with a washer on the end, this rod squeezes down and is forcing the rubber bump stop and the bush up together. It's obviously not able to expand too much because of the stainless steel outer casing, and that's where you get your fill from. So we're going to take it off, which is just undo the two nuts on the back, and we'll have a look inside. So there you can see our pull rod, and as I say, when they activate the pedal, that rod pushes back into the slave cylinder. And then inside the chrome tube, we have a red rubber, one washer to sit in between, and then a PTFE white spacer, and then the end washer as well. So very simple. The way this is actually set up at the moment is full hard, which is a little scary. That even says on the OBP setup guide, if you haven't had hydraulic pedals before, it's best to try with full soft first. Unfortunately, I've only got full hard. I haven't got any spare rubbers with this with these pedals at the moment. So we're going with what we've got. We'll see how that works out. I think driving race cars in real life, it should work out okay. So nice and easy. Actually really quick to make changes on this. Not too fiddly, to be fair. I mean, it's just a case of undoing the lock nut and the other nut on the back, and within a few seconds you can have your rubbers fitted and have it back together and go again. So that's really cool, and probably not going to have to recalibrate the pedals when you make a change to the rubbers, because the brake pedal itself is not being affected, only the fill. So back to the slave cylinder. So on the top here we've got a little brass fitting, and then we've got our bleed nipple on the top. Now when you get these pedals, they are going to come empty because they will not ship them with brake fluid inside. So you're going to need to purchase brake fluid. They run on, I believe it's DOT4. Yeah, so these pedals are not compatible with DOT5 brake fluid. So when you get them, you get yourself some DOT4 and you're going to have to bleed them. Now I'm probably going to I'll do a video when I bleed them up to show you how to get that done. But pretty cool brake setup. So they're completely empty at the moment. So obviously brake pedals soft, we're just pumping air. So it'd be really cool when we got them bled up to see exactly how stiff they are. So we'll work our way around to adjust the position of the brake pedal. You do it on basically off of the rod for the master cylinder on the back here. So all you have to do is undo, see that the little captive nut there, undo that, and then you can actually twist that whole threaded rod, and that'll move the pedal forwards and backwards so you can set it to the position that you require. Right, onto the clutch pedal. Now, clutch pedal is quite funky. So we've got the same 6061 aluminium pedal, really nice and solid. It's running much like the throttle pedal, so it's running from a potentiometer as well. So the same setup with that beautiful little radius arm. I don't know why that's fascinating me so much, but it's just so dainty and pretty. Then we've got a gas-filled damper on the side as well to give it the clutch pedal feel. So basically we've got the adjustable clutch stop, and in true OBP fashion, everything is left loose. So one thing to do if you do buy these pedals is go around them and make sure everything is tight before you use them. So you adjust you can adjust the pedal travel using the bump stops. Basically that comes down and connects with this piece of welded on steel up the top of here. It gives quite a nice feel. I can activate it, and you do get a little bit of noise from the dampener as it's coming back out, but it's pretty solid. It hasn't really got a proper clutch feel compared to some of the others. So it hasn't got the snap that the VRS and the Mecca cups have got tuned into them, but it does feel pretty good, and I'm sure it'll do the job just fine. So in the pedal base themselves, there's a little removable panel which is in here. It's got some tiny little bolts, real fiddly to get to, so I'm not going to try and get it off. That's where the electrics are in there. And we've got the wiring. The wires are white, very well coated together, and you can just see the potentiometers up in the corners here under that main plate. All looks pretty good. So the potentiometers, the plugs are actually bonded on to the units, so you've got no chance of wires falling off under there. Now, interesting thing with these pedals, they have a full 20-month warranty manufacturer backed. But yeah, any problems with these pedals, within 24 months of purchase, send them back to the manufacturer and they will sort it out. I like that. I like that a lot. On the base plate, it's a bit dirty from my dirty old table. I've been sliding it around. So we've got sort of 8 mounting holes, 10 mounting points in total. I say it's going to be really solid. So you've got 4 alone just to keep the brake pedal down on the ground, 2 for the outers, and then 2 for the backs as well. So they're measuring around about 290 mil wide, and they are 275 in length total, but that master cylinder does stick out a little bit further, so I say it's probably around about 325 mils deep. The height, so I'll stick the sprints up against them, so that's the sprint throttle pedal, and there's the sprint brake pedal, so give you a good indication of size. And obviously, as I said, we can move these plates up and down. Let's just see if we can move this throttle pedal. And the answer is no. So we've only got 2 holes for height adjustment on that throttle pedal. if you wanted to, if you were really serious about doing it, you could take this pedal to an engineering firm and get 2 more holes put in there. But I wouldn't try it yourself because there's not a lot of meat to work with. She's pretty thin. In terms of strength, they're pretty sturdy pedals. There's a tiny bit of play side to side in that brake pedal, which for a sim pedal I wouldn't want, and that is just coming it's coming from the joint. I can feel it with my finger at the bottom. So again, that's a concern. In sim racing, we want it without zero tolerance. We've got zero tolerance because, especially with the pressures you're going to be getting up to in this, with a hydraulic setup, I don't want any movement in that pedal at all. Same with the throttle pedal. The throttle pedal actually moves because of the cutout. This bar, I'd say, is almost a little bit too flimsy. And look at the way, just using my fingers, how much flexion I can put on that pedal. And that's all bending at this joint here, so this little round cutout. So another concern, clutch pedal doesn't feel too bad, so it's got a little less play than the brake pedal, but it's still got some play there on the joint. It's never going to be perfect, but this is maybe something we could work on. Okay, so let's talk about pricing. So on the OBP website, they're currently listed at £1,076. Now, that works out at 1,525 US dollars or 1,252 euros. So, not the cheapest, but it's certainly not the most expensive either. Now, I will say I've been loaned these pedals to review by Race at Home. It's a UK supplier of sim racing equipment. Really friendly guy, Bob, who got in touch with me. He's actually sent these over to me. He said he's just got them in stock. Now, Bob tells me he's got a very good discount available on these pedals at the moment. So I'm going to pop the link down into my description below, which will take you to the discount on his website. And I'll just make it clear, I don't get any kickback from you using this link. This is just me trying to do a review on the pedals and give you the best opinion of them I can. But I will put the discount link down there, and if some of you decide you want to go and buy the pedals, then by all means go use that link. And I believe, so it brings that price down to £900, 1,275 US dollars or 1,048 euros. As I say, be quite clear, I don't receive a penny of money from that discount. That's not the reason I'm doing it. It's just Bob said, if we're doing a review, he'd like to offer a discount to people who watch the review. So there you go. Use it as you will. Right, so next thing to do now is to get them on the rig, and we'll see how they go. Can't wait. But I'll shoot a video as well to show you how I bleed them up as well, just if any of you do buy them and need to find out.